Well, welcome everybody to our Explore Episcopal session on girls basketball. We're super excited to have a chance to hear from some members of the girls basketball program, some coaches and some players. I'm Alex Smith, so I work in the admissions office here at Episcopal, and then I will let our coaches and players introduce themselves, and then we'll give you a little bit of an overview of the program.
Perfect. My name is Katrina Reed, and I am in my 7th year at Episcopal High School coaching girls basketball.
Hi, I'm Lucy Dixon. I am a senior at Episcopal High School and have been on the basketball team for 3 years because I came to Episcopal as a new sophomore.
Hi, I'm Kayla Williams. I'm a senior at Episcopal. I came last year and was on the varsity basketball team then. I'm signed to play basketball at University of Richmond, so yeah.
My name is Hannah Boone. I'm a junior at Episcopal. I joined the varsity basketball team my freshman year, so this will be my 3rd year on the team.
And I'm Coach Slack. I'm one of the assistant coaches. I've been coaching with Coach Reed this is my 5th year, and I've been teaching at Episcopal for 14 years. I teach Spanish here.
Awesome. Well, Coach Reed and Coach Slack, do you want to give a little bit of just some background information in general, sort of overview of what your program looks like, both sort of varsity and JV, and kind of where you practice and all that kind of stuff before we get to some questions?
Yeah, that'd be great. I've been at Episcopal for 7 years, and I've been really totally impressed by the amount of growth that we've shown in that time. When I arrived, we were in the lower division of the ISL, the league that we play in. And throughout the course of the last few years, we've won a regular season championship, we've won a tournament championship, and we ultimately bumped up to the upper division of the league, which is a little bit more competitive in nature. We compete at the most incredible facilities. We actually balance between the Centennial Gym and Hershey Gym, and it's like they're both incredible. So it doesn't matter where we are. We have top-notch facilities, kind of no matter where practices or games are being held. That's a little bit about our program and a little bit about our facilities. Coach Slack, anything to add?
No, I think that's it. Yeah, we got I think the point about the two leagues and the ISL is good, and the kind of improvement the program has seen, and just one of the things I love about it is it's super high competitive basketball. It's a good league, and yet we also have players who from a variety of backgrounds in terms of their basketball experience. We might have players who have played more lacrosse than basketball, perhaps, but get into it and have the opportunity to pick up the game, whether it's at the JV level or the varsity level.
And I love that point. I think a couple of our kids actually fit, under that category. Lucy Dixon is one of them. She came to us primarily as a lacrosse athlete, and she's just an incredible, athlete. She can run like the wind. She can jump through the roof, but we really had to hone in on her basketball skills, and, Episcopal just attracts, top-notch athletes and, who want to compete. And so we give them an opportunity to do that no matter the level. So.
Awesome. Well, Kayla, can you, I pulled up the screen or the slide that shows our fitness center, weight room, and locker room. Can you talk a little bit about what the facilities are like from a student athlete's point of view of getting to go into these spaces and really using them during your season?
Okay, so I would like to add on that you can use the gym whenever as well. So I would go in the morning, even out of season 2. So that's always really nice. But the fitness center you can use whenever, and then the weight center, we have a really nice weight program that I like, where we're probably going once every week just to get stronger. It's always nice to increase your strength. So we go in there about once a week, and they have really nice weight trainers and stuff. So I really enjoy it. Yeah.
Awesome. And Lucy and Hannah, do you want to talk a little bit about what life is like in the locker room and sort of because I know that's an important part about kind of building a team and spending a lot of time in there. So do you guys want to talk about when do you use the locker room, and kind of what that looks like from your perspectives?
Yeah, definitely. So we have our own varsity basketball locker room where you type in the code, and that's a picture on the right. And so like before every game, before every practice, we all go in there and get ready for the game, and we blast music and try to get excited. It's always a lot of fun. I just like having that space where it's just us. And then oftentimes we'll talk about what we're going to do in the game and like make plans. So yeah.
I think I'm just gonna add on what Lucy said. I think it is just a really, as you can see, it's very, very nice locker room. Not normal to what's compared in most high schools. But like Lucy said, it is a very like community oriented like space. So we go in there before every practice, we change, we go in there before every game. It's kind of like it's like the players kind of like sanctuary. It's less of like the coaches are involved a little bit less in it, which I like a lot because it gives us kind of like our own place to bond. And we draw on the whiteboard, like we send each other messages. There's candy all over the floor, especially like senior day and stuff. So it is just like a really nice place for us to like connect as like friends.
So, well, Coach Reed, can you talk a little bit about how your program differs for someone coming in with limited basketball experience versus someone who comes in and really has kind of collegiate aspirations in terms of their basketball career?
So I think, differentiation is key. One of the things that we do during tryouts is we sort of, talk with all of the athletes about what their goals are, where they see themselves, and what they're ultimately striving to attain. And, we kind of go from there. We have honest conversations about, okay, like here's where you are from a skills standpoint, from an athleticism standpoint. And then at that point, we make decisions on who should be on varsity as opposed to who should be on JV. Sometimes the case happens where, we have a very, very talented athlete who's very good at basketball, but they don't necessarily want the rigor, the intensity of the varsity level. And so we're like, great, like if your goal is to stay on JV and have a great time on JV, that's awesome. And then conversely, we have students who are, JV athletes who are really working to get bumped up to that varsity level. So, it starts with dialogue and then it continues with evaluation. And I think the best part about Episcopal is we have coaches with so much experience in terms of their basketball knowledge, and so they can meet you kind of where you are and elevate you to where you want to be.
Awesome. Thank you. And Coach Slack, could you talk a little bit about what the relationship is like as a coach to your players in a boarding school environment? Because I think it's a little bit different than a day school.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, because we're a boarding school and because, as I said, I'm also a Spanish teacher, sometimes I'll speak Spanish to the girls during practices, and we, see them around, even if, I have taught a number of players on the team in the past. So we have like those added touch points and connections that helps build relationships with coaches. But even if, I don't have one of the players in class, just seeing each other around in the dining hall, it's fun to recap on how the game went, or get excited. These girls always say, game day coach when you see them walking by during the class day. So it is a great added benefit of working at a boarding school that you see and connect with students in a variety of areas of school life.
Awesome. Thank you. Lucy, can you talk a little bit about it from your perspective of kind of having coaches that in a lot of different roles, and so you have the ability to kind of go to them at any point?
Yeah, so my freshman year, I played basketball at home, and I'd see my coach just like every practice, every game. But then at Episcopal, like Coach Slack was saying, I see them all around all the time. Even if Coach Reed teaches at a different school, I still see her on campus in the dining hall after practice. And I think us having that communication and always seeing each other, that strengthens like our bond and our comfortableness. So like I practically live with them, it's like so nice because if I have any questions, I can always come to them, and it's just like nice to be that comfortable with your coach, which I haven't had in the past.
Awesome. And Hannah and Kayla, can you talk a little bit about, I know some of the misconceptions of boarding school is that you have to give up your club teams because you're here all the time. And that's not not the case. And so can you talk a little bit about balancing your schedule at Episcopal and also getting to have some opportunities of competing and playing with some outside teams?
Yeah, totally. So me and Kayla we both play AAU. So it's like club basketball. But basically, like since I came here freshman year, I also played AAU freshman year. So it's basically you'll go to like Mr. or Mrs. Fitch, you'll talk to Coach Reed, and you'll basically just be like, hey, I'm looking to play X, Y, and Z with this team. And you can do this for a lot of sports. You can do volleyball, soccer, anything pretty much. And it's basically you'll talk to the deans as well because it has to be approved because most of the times you're leaving during like study hall hours because that's normally like when practices are during school days. So you'll basically just get approval from your parents or guardian and the deans and your coaches. And it is really nice to be able to be a part and still play basketball like in the spring and like fall time when high school basketball isn't in season. And it is pretty hard, especially I think freshman year I probably struggled a little bit because I was getting used to Episcopal. I just finished freshman year basketball, which was all over the place, a lot of fun, pretty stressful. And then I jumped straight into AAU, and it was definitely takes certain people who know how to schedule and know how to time manage. And I definitely learned a lot about how to time manage and how to be able to hold myself accountable to be like, hey, I don't think I can go to practice today because I have homework that I haven't done or etc. And I think it's a really nice opportunity that Episcopal gives to their students to be able to be like, hey, I know you want to play at the collegiate level. Here, we're going to give you a chance to be able to pursue basketball outside of school.
I agree with Hannah. I mean, I personally didn't really play AAU while I was there because last year, like the whole COVID thing, so I was home all spring. But like beforehand, I would go to like open gyms and stuff, and they would always let me go. Like it would be like a weekend where we were supposed to be on campus, and they would always let me go, just because they knew how important it was to me. So that helped a lot. And I also knew like people in the past, like Haley, she said that she'd be able to go to practice like whenever. They're very lenient about like her being able to go. And then they would also like sometimes they would even offer the gym for her to use and her team to use. So that's always really helpful. But overall, like Episcopal has been really like good, and they've been very supportive with like all your like collegiate dreams if you want to do AAU or anything like that.
Great. And Coach Reed, can you talk a little bit about what your off season looks like? Do you do anything to kind of prep your girls for your season?
Yeah, so I mean, after our season wraps up, we have individual meetings where we talk about kind of the workout plan that they get in the spring. That is optional because I understand that students are doing AAU and they have other other sports that they're playing for Episcopal and outside of Episcopal. And then I give them every summer a workout plan, like a PDF file essentially that takes you through the whole summer. Again, making sure that students understand that this is supplemental to what they are already doing with their other sports teams. And then when students come back in the fall in a typical year, we'll have, open gym sessions, we'll have individual workouts. And again, there will be that strength and conditioning component that students can do on their own if they have time, if it fits into their schedule, and as long as they're not overworking themselves with other athletic opportunities.
Thank you. Coach Slack, we talked a little bit, you and Coach Reed touched on the ISL and kind of what, the competition looks like in your league. Can you talk a little bit about, what your schedule looks like, how many games you play a week, who you typically play, what your tournaments look like at the end of the year? And Coach Reed, if you have things you want to say as well, I'll leave it to you guys.
So we play about 30 games. Is that right, Coach Reed? So close to that, and it kind of ramps up because you have during basketball season you have the breaks typically in the middle of Thanksgiving break and then the winter break. So things really kind of get ramped up after the winter break, and we're really into the mix of league play. We go through the league, which is a pretty big league, twice, and then we play some mid-season tournaments. One we've been doing a lot recently is the St. Stephen's tournament, which is a a pretty fun, exciting tournament, in part because it's in this kind of small gym, and just I don't know. I feel like our girls always kind of step up for that one. There's always some big moments, memorable plays in that, for some reason, in that tournament. But we've done other mid-season tournaments, and then the ISL kind of playoffs and the state playoffs at the end of the year are kind of where we're headed. And we're always looking to make some noise and compete in those tournaments. We were in the championship game last season, 2 seasons ago, and it was hard with the way this season is going to keep track. But yeah. So, and then our non-league play, we also have a pretty competitive and challenging schedule of non-league play as well, and many of those being state games in Virginia. Coach Reed can probably add to that.
Yeah, and I think the best part actually about playing in this league is that we are playing against some of the top tier competition, not just like in the area, but really along the East Coast. And we want to schedule, we embrace the idea of being in the upper division because we know we're competing against the best. We embrace opportunities to play, some of the WCAC schools that are nearby, and some of those other top tier talent from Richmond and Southern Virginia. Because we know even if we lose those games, one, we're going to learn from them, right? And two, those opportunities, whether we win or lose, are going to help us improve. And we, like we mentioned, have a lot of kids who are looking to play at the next level. And so they have to be ready to compete against the best and fight against the best. And that's just how iron sharpens iron, right? So that's how you get better.
Coach Reed, can you talk a little bit about how the programs between the JV program and varsity program, how do they differ in terms of how are practices different? Do you approach games differently? How do those two programs, how are they different?
So I think we do try to create a bit of continuity from a X's and O's standpoint. At the very beginning of the season, we always meet with the JV coaches and, kind of talk with them about here's what we're doing, especially for girls who are hoping to make the jump to varsity one day. We'd really like to see them be able to do X, Y, and Z, or, run this particular press, whatever the case may be. But then, truthfully, the programs are quite different. So, our games, we have more games. We do stay and come back, I should say, for early return. So we have a couple extra practices in there. And I would say the intensity level is definitely a little bit more at the varsity level. But there is some continuity because, again, we want to foster an environment where students are able to make that jump to varsity if they want to one day. But again, we're making sure that we're respecting everyone's sort of like level and meeting them where they are from a talent and experience standpoint.
Perfect. So this is actually a question for everybody. I would love to know what your favorite aspect of, it could be a tradition, it could be a moment that you remember, but what's your favorite aspect of being a part of the girls basketball program?
So I can start. I just love, so when we go to games or away games, we go on the bus, and when we come back, sometimes if it's a faraway game or if we miss dinner, we're getting meal money. And first of all, that bus ride is so fun. And then also we all get to pick, we'll dispute where we want to eat, and it's just so funny because everyone wants something different. So we go to a shopping center, and then we get back in with all of our food, and we're just laughing. And I don't know, I just love the aspect of going out to eat, getting off campus during the weekday, and going back with your teammates and just having a good time. And I think that's also a factor of being 100% boarding school. So that's my favorite. Yeah.
This might be, I hope I'm not stealing anyone's idea here, but one of my favorite things is right before the game, and Coach Slack, this about me, I love listening to you guys do your little chant that you do. You do it in English and you do it in Spanish, and you guys just sound like you're so hype, and it gets me all hype. And yeah, it's one of my favorite things for sure.
They don't all take Spanish, but they try anyways to do a little singing in Spanish. But my thing, and that both Coach Reed and Lucy kind of just gave examples of what my thing would be, which is just, I think this is probably the case with a lot of sports, but I feel like with basketball teams in general, the level of closeness that these girls get with one another And just seeing kind of the progression of a season and seeing their confidence grow and seeing them like come together as a community, which is such, you know, like a little community within the Episcopal community, the connections and like friendships that they make. It's like there are challenges and obstacles on the way that makes that, you know, that I think strengthens those connections, but just seeing them kind of learn how to like persevere, build their confidence and be connected as a group is just, and basketball is just so fun that all that together to me is my favorite thing about this team.
My favorite would probably be early return, because we go back for early return about twice. And it seems like it wouldn't be because no one's there, but it seems like it wouldn't be that great. But it's honestly so much fun because like we're all together, we're all doing activities, we're going out to eat. It's like it's a lot of fun just because of how close like our family is. So it's always a lot of fun.
Wouldn't let me unmute. But yeah, I can definitely agree with what Kayla said because we were neighbors last year, so we would like sit outside and like eat ice cream together. It was a lot of fun. But I think besides like champ for games and like how much of like a family it is, it's just like kind of small and kind of random. But my favorite thing is our left hand. So it's like whenever we like do a chant where it's like before practice where we say like a really random word that's always like hard work or like energy. We never come up with something original, but it's kind of funny. And then so we always put our left hand in because it's closest to our heart, and I think that's just like a big aspect of like what Episcopal is, what Episcopal basketball is that like we're family, we're there for each other no matter what. And after every game, no matter win or lose, we always chant family, and I just think that just says a lot about our program and our school.
Great. Well, is there anything, coaches or players that we haven't talked about that you want to make sure that prospective families know about the basketball program? I think, you know, you've done a great job of kind of giving an overview, but I wanted to make sure that there wasn't anything that we missed.
I mean, I would just say the only other thing that we haven't really touched on is it's really cool to be part of a program where there is a network of alum who continue to be involved in the program. So we have, you know, Lexi Weger, who plays at Princeton right now. She'll come back for breaks, you know, and sit and watch basketball games, and she'll put on her maroon and black and be screaming from the sidelines, right? You know, I've had other players. I know we're kind of in this strange time where you know, our games are postponed till 2021, but I've had other players reach out and just be like, Coach, I can't wait to come and, you know, check out the team. I heard this player is so great, and I heard that like blah 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 is going on. I can't wait to see this matchup. And so, you know, no matter where people go, whether it be University of Richmond or Yale or Princeton or Emory, you know, Episcopal is always home for these kids, and they always, it's not just, you know, 4 years of playing for us. You know, you're really part of the family kind of forever. And so I think that that's really something very unique and special about Episcopal basketball.
That's amazing. Well, I just want to say thank you to all of you for taking your time to talk about girls basketball. I know this will be super valuable to our prospective families and to those of you who are watching. If there are questions that you have about the basketball program, Coach Reed, Coach Slack, Lucy, Hannah, and Kayla would love to talk to you more about it. So let us know, and we will be in touch with you. And if you have questions about the admissions process, please reach out to our office, and we can help with that as well. But thank you for watching.